So today I'm here with Darryl MacLeod and Andrew Kozma, and we're at the Atlantic Security Conference, and we're going to be interviewing about the conference and what's been going on here and the great people. So let's hack at it. So thank you so much, Darryl. Thanks so much, Andrew. This has been so great to be at this conference. So first question I have is, tell me a little bit about each other.
Okay, my name is Darryl MacLeod. I'm actually work for a startup in Sydney, Nova Scotia, in Cape Breton Island called Security.
Okay.
I'm a security manager. I've been there for just over a year now.
Okay.
But before that, I do a lot of IT auditing, IDS auditing. And of course, I've been involved with these guys on the board for the last 6 years. Yeah, but I've been an attendee for every event. So
you had hair when we started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And yes, I did.
So did I.
I had more hair when we started. Yeah, we all had hair when we started, and now look what
long
did to it.
locks and everything.
Yeah. But yes.
8 years later.
Yeah. So I was an attendee the first 2 years. And so.
Andrew Kozma. I'm a co-founder of the Atlantic Security Conference with Travis Barlow, and there are 5 directors, 2 of which are here, me and Darryl MacLeod. I currently work for GoSecure on the architecture services team, doing cybersecurity assessments, audits, and general consulting. I've been involved with Atlantic Security Conference from the very beginning and have seen it grow significantly over the last 8 years, but a very organic growth, and really, really pleased with the content and the quality of our speakers. Some are coming from as far away as Illinois and Israel.
Right.
So yeah, it's really, really working out well for us, and thanks for having us, Brandon.
And that was actually leads me to my first question. So how did it get started? Like, how did the Atlantic Conference evolve to what it is now? I mean, I think we were looking at the numbers, what, 600, 700 people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're between 600 and 700 people in attendance for the 2018 conference. In 2010, when we first started, literally it was a couple of guys and a couple of beers, and started by man, I can't get my company to expense a trip to DEF CON. I can't afford to take the time off on vacation, pay the airfare, pay for whatever I want to go. It just was an inordinate cost, and I've worked for multiple employers out here, and that's always seemed to be the case, where I wasn't able to get to DEF CON, besides Las Vegas, RSA, none of the big conferences. So over beers, started like most things do. The other word that begins with B for complaining.
Right. Okay.
So we started down that path, and Travis Barlow is the chief executive, director of the board, and founder. He came up with the idea that maybe we'll do it here, and we'll try to get some of those talks here. And at which point, I'm on board. Let me know what you need to do. And then, of course, my relationship and my friendship with Travis was in its very early stages, and you just think it's beer talk, and you walk away, and you don't hear anything, and it never comes up. And I'm thinking, it was just a conversation, and it was a little while later, maybe a month and a half, get the call. Hey, got the dates, and we got our first sponsor. I went, really? What?
Right.
All right, I guess it's all in. Yeah. Let's go. And the first year was 2010. We had, it depends who you ask, but when you add vendors and speakers in the mix, I would say there are maybe 80 people there.
At the most, yeah.
At the most. Yeah. It was in one room at the World Trade Convention Center with a single track, and we gave away a printer as a grand prize and a golf umbrella.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Maybe some golf tees too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
so yeah, humble beginnings to where we are now, 8 years later.
Now, what's your ideal attendee? I know you're developing, and you look at all these security professionals around. What would be your ideal attendee?
Well, ideal attendee. That's a hard one. And I think there's a whole range. People working in the industry now. Let's find new trends, new ideas, or right down to students.
Right.
Like we have a large amount of students here from Dalhousie University this year.
Right.
So I think anybody who wants to learn more about the industry about, even that's probably the ideal attendee.
Right.
Doesn't matter how old you are. Like anyone, if you're working in the industry or if you just want to find out more about it and you just come attend. You could be working in a completely different industry, but
Right.
That's what I think. Anybody wants to advance their skill set and probably network plus meet more people in the industry. Like I've actually, kind of on a personal note, every position I've had, the last 4 positions I've had, I've gotten them as a result of the contacts I've gotten through this conference, being involved in this conference.
So the evolution of kind of your career is
Yeah,
from networking.
exactly. Yeah, like it helped advance my career greatly.
Right.
I wouldn't be where I was now or am now if it wasn't for this conference.
Wow.
Still write your CISSP, but get an IDLESEC con ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah.
And that's the one thing that some of the speakers, like I talked to Ted, he was the InfoSec rock star, and we just had an interview before, and he was talking about like the different types of skills that cybersecurity professionals, InfoSec professionals need, from the soft skills to the technical skills, which is great. A lot of your speakers are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. It's not a problem that's isolated specifically to cybersecurity or information technology. Anywhere there's a requirement for a large technical skill set, engineering, for example, oftentimes the focus is primarily on the skill and not necessarily the business savvy, professional, smooth, polished guy or gal that can relay their message across. And that's historically been it's a stereotype, unfortunately, but stereotypes in this case I think are based on some truths.
Right. Now, I mean, it's interesting that how you're talking about the conference, how is it evolving, right? And the demand. Now, do you see, I know a lot of people are talking about the 3 million job shortages. Do you find that your conference is an asset to that, to help people be educated to?
I'll let you talk to that. There's a lot going on. I'm going to pass over to you, but with regards to that.
Yeah. Gee, that's a tough one.
Well, I can talk about our neighbors in New Brunswick. So Atlantic Security Conference, for its 8 years in existence, has taken place in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in the province of Nova Scotia.
Right.
We have a neighbor in New Brunswick that has done, and I tip my hat to them with their Cyber MB programs, the work that the University of New Brunswick's done. I can drop a few names, David Shipley, and the startup cycle that's gone through there, Jamie Reese. So there's a lot of good things they're doing, and they're addressing it. I would consider them a step ahead with regards to preparing the next generation of cybersecurity and information security professionals. New Brunswick is doing a great job with the Cyber Titan program in high schools, and we've been watching and paying close attention, and they're our friends, so we haven't reached out to them yet, but when the time I feel is right, they'll be more than willing to share some of the good things and some of the bad things that they were challenged with and overcome. And I hope to see those things happen in our own province.
Right.
With regards to the introduction of cybersecurity skills in high schools.
Right. Yeah, and one of your speakers was talking about that yesterday, about how they're starting to get into the schools and start teaching from a young age and bringing people up.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I bring up the conference is because a lot of times when people go to look at certifications, look at that, like the viewers that are watching this are trying to learn the transition from, okay, I'm in a different career, I want to be in cybersecurity, or I'm new and want to get in cybersecurity. Yeah. And I'm starting to find that conferences like yourself are teaching them kind of, here's different areas of cybersecurity, InfoSec, and then with the vendors, I can talk to them and educate them best direction, where to go.
Yeah. Well, it's also, too, about the networking. It's about the people you meet at these conferences. Not necessarily just to find more skills, it's just the contacts you make.
Right.
So if you do want to break into cybersecurity,
it's
kind of a good proving ground for that, I think. You just got to get out there and meet people.
Right.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. What I found through the community, and not just regionally, the information and cybersecurity community at large, goes David Kennedy and the gang at Trusted Sec, Adrian Crenshaw, the Iron Geek. Yeah. When I started, I learned so much, and these guys were so willing to share. Yeah. They've had great blog posts. They were... you could reach out and say, hey, man, I'm trying to understand this. Yeah. They would spend the time. And, that rings huge. So with regards to how to get started, have confidence, step forth. you're always going to be learning.
Yeah.
It's continual. I mean, Travis Barlow, we're talking about Travis, the founder of the conference. We've started a relationship with Dalhousie here at this conference and Nova Scotia Community College. And Travis loves to ask a group of students ready to graduate who wants an information security job, at which point they will all put their hands up. I do. Who would like the information security job that works from 9 to 5? And if anybody puts their hand up, information security is not for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it is a full-time commitment. And you have to be passionate about it. And if you're passionate and driven about something to that degree, it's really not work. And I think if you have the confidence to say, hey, I'm trying to understand, or I just want to learn, you'll be amazed at the overwhelming support that you can receive from our community.
So now, talk about that, like the expectation, because like I said, I have people that are watching that are starting out.
Yeah.
What's kind of the expectation should they have going into the InfoSec career? Like you said, for example, 9 to 5 is probably not for them. Like, what are some of the expectations that should be set for them?
Well, first of all, I think you need some technical skills first.
Right.
Like, you can't, it's very rare that you would actually get right into an InfoSec job.
Right.
Like myself, I had many years background working in general. I was a network administrator, system administrator. You need those skills first, I think, in order to get into information security.
Okay.
But yeah, like it actually helped me because I went from doing that into doing PCI audits.
Okay.
But it's because of my technical background.
Right.
So I think they should have at least or even self-taught. Like if you or even like certification, even if you had your A+, it just shows that you're willing to
take
the time in. Like a lot of people will, they will like say crap on the CISSP certification. A lot of people think, oh no, that's not a good. I didn't get it to advance my career. I actually did it just to say, okay, I'm going to see if I can do it.
Okay.
So, and that's the way I look at certifications.
Right.
And so I think that too, like even if you manage to get a few, and a few like like certificates like the A+ or Net+ or Security Plus.
Right.
Like I'll say the first time I wrote Security Plus years ago, I failed it the first time.
Right.
So I went back and I said, okay, and where was I weak? And I went back, and about 3-4 years later, I wrote it again. No problem at all.
Wow, good.
Yeah, so it's, and don't be afraid to fail.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, no big deal. Ask for help. We're like, it's funny too, like even on like Twitter. Like I've had a lot of times you post a question on Twitter or something, all of a sudden you'll get lots of help, lots of responses. Like, like myself, it's great. I have no problem. People ask me things on Twitter. Like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Right.
And actually, I have a story about the first year while we're talking about Twitter. We had a speaker he was at HP at the time, called Rafael Lowe's. So
good friend of ours.
Yeah, good friend of ours. He spoke at the conference many times. And
the White Rabbit.
The White Rabbit. Yeah, he has
a podcast
called Down the Rabbit Hole.
Nice. Okay.
And so we're seeing that he spoke, and we're saying that he came and sat down at my table, introduced each other, and he goes, we're talking. He goes, "You're Darryl _MacLeod on Twitter." And I said, yes. Up before that, we chatted lots on Twitter before that.
Right.
I goes, yes, I am. So it's like some people don't like Twitter, but I think Twitter's been the most valuable social media channel for this industry.
Wow. Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
And Donald Trump too.
Come on.
Like follow the InfoSec hashtag.
Right.
Just do a search for hashtag InfoSec. I mean, you'd be amazed now stuff you can find.
So like certifications, real world experience.
Yeah, real world experience,
right.
And the network and the networking.
Right. So now certification, like people sometimes have a stigma about it, in the sense that there's paper certifications, they don't give real value. Now, I've kind of looked into a little bit more research, but a lot of the new people coming up, it's great to get the foundations, the terminologies and things like that.
Yeah.
So that what happens when they start doing real world situations, they know what they're talking about. Now, I don't know what you guys think about.
So there was a huge movement last year with the hashtag not a CISSP, and let's put an end to all of this stuff right now. If there's an opportunity to learn something, better yourself professionally and or personally, how can it be a bad thing?
Right.
I really look at it that way. Like, it really is. And if there's an opportunity to grow, and if that's through a certification, perfect. That's a perfect opportunity.
Right.
But that's really how I feel about that. At the end of the day, there are different types of certifications. OSCP is well regarded and well renowned. Walk the walk, talk the talk.
Right.
Or you have to demonstrate those skills, and it's well respected. for that. Certifications like CISSP you have to be very business-minded, and it shows a maturity level that's not necessarily technical, but is ultimately required to make a well-rounded security professional.
Right. Perfect. Now, as you see, I mean, through the conferences now, you're starting to see more women in the conferences. And what are you guys seeing about that movement where women are starting now getting into cybersecurity and they're starting to educate themselves in the sense of programming, pen testing, in these areas? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they've always been in the industry. I think, at least to some degree. I don't know what you think, but they've always been. Absolutely. But I think now it's just more in the forefront. Like like some of our speakers, we had Tanya Janka. Yeah. She spoke today about basic security. She's it's fantastic, and we've always promoted from day one. We've always promoted like having we are like, please, women speakers, please submit. Right. It's like it's in like some of our best talks have been by.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of times when you talk to certain women that are looking in the IT field or at least going into cybersecurity, there's a little bit of fear and stigma. It's a male-driven industry. It's a male-dominant.
Yeah.
But and just the stigma of it, right?
Absolutely. I can understand that. We need them. There's room. There's room for everybody. I mean, we started by talking about the skills gap and the requirement for professionals. We need them. We need their perspective. And whatever this comes in doesn't really matter. It's the content of this and what you can drive for value for the organization that you work for. Right. Ultimately, that's going to define what a professional is. Yeah. And there's lots of room. And gosh, I'm really going to say it. I've really enjoyed their perspective, and certainly, our industry is not averse to some of the challenges that are experienced in other industries and other avenues, but we really need them, and we really need that gray matter, and we really need that perspective. And the more the better.
Right, it's the diversity, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Sometimes there's more of a male thought process of and then sometimes more a female thought, which is great because then you collaborate, right?
Well, even here we're hosting a Capture the Flag event that Security Innovations is sponsoring at Atlantic Security Conference the second year in a row. There are women attendees that are participating in Capture the Flag, so it's fantastic to see at all levels. And it is about engagement, about becoming involved and not being isolated by age, sex, gender, whatever. Right. And it really is, as a community, we need to be inclusive and start to accepting ideas from other places. Absolutely.
Now, someone coming into the cybersecurity industry, can you speak about like the family oriented, like how connected the actual community is? Because I know some people think they're on an island of their own. I'm studying, I'm just kind of on my own, I can't get any help. But I mean, I've come to conferences, I've kind of events, and you realize how close you get to people with events like this and how connected you start to become. Can you guys speak about that as people that are running the conference?
Oh, yeah, well, again, too, that's like how I go back to Twitter. That's how I met a lot of people I meet at the conferences. Right. And we've had like some relationships with our speakers, and also too, like I've run a few B-sides events in Cape Breton. Right. Like Dave Lewis from Liquid Major Security Podcast. He's here. He actually was my first keynote for that. Right. But for years we tried to get him to come to our conference, and all of a sudden now we got in touch.
He's like, "You guys really want me to come back again this year?" Like, Dave, people want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So it's surprising the amount of people. Like, it's such a large community, but still very small.
Yeah, very intimate.
Very intimate. Yeah, you make some really valuable friendships at this conference.
Absolutely.
Well, I think in the security field in general, like in the conference, it's because you guys are doing it and it's intimate. But I think in the security field, when you start meeting people, you start relating. It's worldwide. It's not just my local city, my local town, my local province.
Yeah. Well, I even walking around the conference here, I hear people introducing themselves. Oh, we've talked, like you were saying, we've talked virtually. It's so nice to meet you. I was really looking forward to. I came because I knew you were going to be here. Right. Those kind of conversations, and boy, it's fantastic to hear the impact and some of the things that are going along those lines. And it gets more and more difficult every year to select our speakers. Yeah. I wish we could accept every talk that comes. Yeah. But we're bursting at the seams. We had a lot of tracks, and what we're hearing now from some of the people is, I can't take in all these talks. I want to see that one. I want to see that. Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most definitely.
we never like sending that email saying, sorry, you weren't selected.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my job.
But don't give up. Yeah, he's the no man.
I'm the yes man, too.
But that's also very important. So,
Yeah.
so for people that may be interested in how we do the speaker selection process, with regards to the call for papers, once we do 2 rounds.
Right.
And when it comes time to select the speakers, everything that could identify that individual is removed, and we start to look at the abstract.
Right.
So
let me stop you there first, Andrew. So the first thing is, can anyone speak? Can
absolutely.
anyone present?
We've had a couple
yeah.
of first-time speakers at the conference this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you have something that is you're researching or on cutting edge or a problem that you overcame and you want to share with the world, this is the avenue in place. We want to hear about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the only reason why I asked is some people think there's this, oh my God, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
I'm not this and that. And that's
the
why
imposter syndrome that's so
yeah.
rampant in our industry, absolutely.
Yeah, so
But
that's why I wanted to bring that because that's something I've heard, again, talking to you outside the camera and all that, is that, like you like to have people that have value. It doesn't matter where they are, and that's why I like to speak this. Because some people are going, well, I've studied and I do this, I know this, but I'm not an expert, so I can't speak.
Well, well, the finish with regards to the call for papers, when we're selecting speakers, we remove the identifying information. We really leave the abstract. And there's 5 directors, with Travis being the head of the board. But we work on consensus. So when we first start to select speakers, all 5 of us want that speaker to attend. We want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Now, when it gets down to brass tacks and there's fewer and fewer spots left, and somebody wants something and somebody else wants something, then we have a full-on democratic debate.
Right.
Excuse me. With regards to that activities, and you know, I really do wish we could accept everybody, but keep submitting, keep trying, and if there's something, like, we look for different perspectives, and really want to deliver the most well-rounded conference experience for our attendees. So if you do attend the AdultSecCon, you'll see a hoodie and a suit, and you'll see them walking side by side, and in some cases having full-on discussions, which I think is fantastic.
Right, which is great. It's great to hear that it's not a certain level of professional that needs to speak. It's someone with great value. And that's what it comes down to. It's good to hear that. And that's you guys, if you're looking to submit, check them out, because it doesn't mean that you have to be this one person. If you have great value, that's what they're looking for, is from my understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You won't know unless you try.
Yeah.
You know, it's worth a shot. If you think you have a really good idea, submit. Please submit.
Right.
You know.
And I think, speak about the value on that and speaking, because I know talking to Ted about his book, like, how does that help someone in the security field?
Oh, it's good too. Well, especially where we're, like, you know, well, just like with you doing your job right now. Like, when I was in the audit field, you have to be able to speak in front of, like, C-level.
Right.
You know, people. You have to be able to speak in front of people in general. If you're not going to do it, but doing a presentation, like myself, I hate doing presentations.
Okay.
But I still submit. I still do talks just to say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to force them, get out of the comfort zone.
Right.
You know, but when you do it, and like, just like, oh, that's fantastic, that went great.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, you'll submit talks. They'll get rejected. I still submit talks occasionally. They get rejected.
Right.
Wow.
And it's no big deal. It's like, okay, fine, move on. But then when you do get accepted, it's like, oh, they're awesome.
That's
like
it, right?
and then high fives, guys.
But then you're going like, oh, crap, I got accepted.
Now you have to do it.
Yeah. But then once you do, especially do that first one, and then, like, I think one of my first real, big presentation to was at Peace St. John's.
Right.
Oh, God, probably 4 or 5 years ago now.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That was
120 people.
Yep.
And it's funny, I always find myself, but I did it, but it was fantastic. And then afterwards, people are coming to ask me questions, you know, and people are generally interested. It is a rush when you get up there, you do it.
Right.
But you don't know until you actually just say, okay, I'm going to do it. What happened? Let's try it.
Right.
And it's, you know, we all make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes and you just move on.
Now, did you, like, and then going back to the question, did you guys find value after the fact? Like, you did your talk,
oh, God,
and all of a sudden the people that you met?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Some of our friends, some of our friendships were established with you, with Darryl, just the building community and building those relationships.
Yeah.
Absolutely, And we're very supportive of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is great. Now, did you guys have any other tips for anyone that's watching this about the AltSec conference?
About the conference. Tips.
Come.
Yeah,
Come.
yeah,
Sleep.
Come.
Make sure you get some sleep
Yeah,
before.
Yeah,
Make sure-
if you do come Wednesday.
As you
Be
can tell, we need
careful
sleep.
Be careful Wednesday night because we have a pretty busy day Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday we start to unwind and really we have some establishments and we have a nice closing party.
Mhm.
But if you do come Wednesday and plan to leave Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
and spend some time and view our beautiful province.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one thing is take the time to network and do the events, like the
Yeah, yeah.
after-hour events. Some people come for the sessions, all that,
Yeah.
but do everything. Like take a part of,
Oh, yeah.
capture the flag, go to the after parties, go for
Yeah.
the dinners, because
Yeah.
it's the whole, conference.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
be part
Just introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Darryl.
No problem.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
So guys, don't forget the Atlantic Conference. Come check it out. I'm here. This is my first year, and I'm loving every minute of it. Meeting a lot of great people, as you can see through the interviews. And yeah, for next year, 2019, you gotta check it out. If you want to come as an attendee, come as an attendee. If you want to be a speaker, like they're talking about, submit a topic. Right?
Call
Go
for papers
it.
opens in October.
Just go for it and see what's going to happen. So I'm just going to leave off of this video. So don't forget, I just put up on the side here. Don't forget, software is hackable. Being connected is vulnerable. I'll see you next video.